So, along with Jayadeva Goswami, uh, uh, there is a direct connection to what you're seeing here. These are life-size deities of Gaur Gadadhar in a place called Champahati in Sridham Mayapur. So I'll explain the connection between Jayadeva Goswami and this Champahati, this place of the worship of Sri Sri Gaur Gadadhar. Um, these deities that you're seeing here, they were installed originally and worshipped by Vijay Vanina. Vijay Vanina. This is the brother of Gadadhar Pandit. So for over 500 years, these deities have been worshipped, and a temple was established by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in 1922. So that's what you're seeing here. This is Champati is a very special place. I'll just go through a few more of these slides so you can see what it looks like, some other images. Here's the entrance to Champati, and some signage saying how old the temple, not the temple, but rather the this worship of the deities is. And here we have some other signage talking about how the temple was established and what the significance of the holy place is. Here is a painting of Vijay the brother of Gadadhar Pandit, and the cyclic succession. Here, some other signage and beautiful artwork found in the temple. And then this is an image of Sri Mayapur Dham in its spiritual form of a lotus with all the various places. So this special place, Champahati, is in the southwestern portion of Koladweep. So let me see if I can get my little pointer here, a highlighter. Nope, I need a pen. Laser pointer. Here you go. Okay, so here's Sri Mayapur Dham, main temple, and then here is Koladweep. So somewhere around here, just across from Bakul, there is this place called Champahati. So it is non-different from the Kandi Ravana forests of Vrindavan. So this is where Sri Krishna and Balaram had many pastimes, and they used to go there to rest because it was such a beautiful place. So in Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Navadvip Baba Taranga, he mentions the following, describing this holy place. Towards the south of Koladweep, there is a place called Champuhata. In all of Navadvip Dham, this place is the most beautiful. This Champahata village is a great tirtha and the most attractive location of the poet Jayadeva's worship of Gaura Sundar. So that's the significance. That's where we're connecting this to this temple here. It was Sri Jayadeva Goswami personally worshipped and had a vision of Lord Gauranga here. There at the house of Vaninath, Sri Sachinandana, along with his associates, performed Harinam Sankirtan. There was a great festival at the house of Vaninath, where Sri Gauranga showed his opulence of love. In Champahati village, there is a forest of champak flowers. So now, champak, I was always told that they're the same as the Hawaiian plumeria flowers, but I looked up pictures of it online. It looks like it looks a little bit different than a Hawaiian plumeria. So I don't know if anybody knows about that. Let us know. You know what exactly a champak is. Is it the same as a plumeria? For all of us in Hawaii, we know what plumerias are. So anyway, that in the Champahati village, there is a forest of champak flowers. which the gopi Champakalata comes here to pick. This forest in Navadvip is non-different from Kani Ravana in Vraja, where Balaram and Krishna used to take rest. So anyone that goes to Sri Mayapur Dham, they can see the entire forest of Vrindavan there. So this special place is non-different from this place in Vraj called Kadi Varana, the forest where Krishna Balaram used to have many pastimes. So, in the Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the following description. Nityananda is taking Jiva Goswami on a tour of Navadvip Dham. And he tells Jiva Goswami, Nityananda Prabhu, he says that, listen, O son of Vallabha, there was once a champak forest at this beautiful place, which is a portion of Kandi Ravana in Vrindavan. Champakalata, Shaki, takes champaka flowers, strings garlands, and offers them to Sri Sri Radha Krishna as her eternal pastime. When Kali Yuga grew in influence, capitalists moved here and eagerly took the champaka flowers. They set up a hatta, market, and sold the champak flowers to the villagers and townfolks. Therefore, this enchanting place is called Champaka Hatta, or most commonly Champakati. Dwarkapuri and Gangasagar are present here. Let's see. Vidagda says, there is a golden flower in Bengal called champak, which is very fragrant and was a favorite flower of Lord Chaitanya. It is not a plumeria, which is also called champak. Oh, okay. So it's also called champak. It's not the same. Okay. Thank you. So, Ganga Sagar and Dwarkapuri also present in that very place. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, as we mentioned, he established a temple here at this place, Champakahata. Prior to establishing the temple, there was an imposter Babaji who was there, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was very saddened by seeing the condition of the place, because he knew how important it was to the Vaishnava community. So he used to cry and pray for Lord Gauranga's help to somehow or other to reestablish the high standard of worship for Gaur Gadadhar. And then in 1922, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was able to establish a temple there. One of his disciples by the name of Narayana Das Babaji, he came there in 1922 at the age of 20 years old, and for 80 years he performed strict standards of worship there, and only when he was almost to 100 years old did he leave his body. So as his passing, it passed to others. So that temple is still there, and we just saw pictures of it. And let me get rid of this. Just one second. I don't know how to get rid of the volume now. Anyway, there. Okay. So continuing with the description in the Navadvip Mahatmya. So Nityananda Prabhu explains to Jiva Goswami that once Nadia was ruled by a very great devotee of the Lord, whose name was King Lakshmana Sena. And at the same time, Jayadeva Goswami was one of the inhabitants, the citizens of Navadvip. So Jayadeva, who was very sober, he lived in a cottage on the bank of the Ganges with his wife by the name of Padmavati. And at that time, he wrote the Dasavatar Stotra. So this came to the attention of King Lakshmana Sena, and when he read the Dasavatar Stotra, he was very happy And he was enthralled to know who in the world could write such a poem. So he had a minister. His name was Govardhanacharya. And he informed him that the stotra evidently means a Sanskrit poem. It was composed by the great poet Jayadeva Goswami, who lived there in Navadvip, in his kingdom. So the king very much wanted to meet him. So after discovering the residence of Jayadeva Goswami, the king, he came to Jayadeva's place disguised as a mendicant, as a renunciate, in very humble dress. And he came and he offered humble obeisances to Jayadeva, and he sat in the corner. So Jayadeva Goswami, he immediately recognized this was the king, who was wearing a very humble dress and humble demeanor. And the king requested Jayadeva to please come and visit his palace. He was found out this was the king. But Jayadeva, being extremely renounced and strict, he immediately refused. He said, in effect, that he would never visit the house of a materialistic king, that to associate with materialistic persons is completely against the principles of Vaishnava philosophy. And to make such a request, he was disgusted, and he would immediately leave the kingdom and go elsewhere. He would cross the Ganga and go to Nilachala, to Jagannath Puridam. So the king, in all humility, he fell at the feet of Jayadeva, and he begged them to never leave, he and his wife to never leave Navadvip Dham. And but because of a saintly person, everything that he speaks is truth. The king, being concerned, he said, please, somehow or other, keep your word, but at the same time fulfill my desire. So he requested Jayadeva to please go to a beautiful place on the southwestern portion of Koladvip called Champahata, which we just described, to live there on the western bank of the Ganga and kindly stay there for at least 1 or 2 years. So Jayadeva, he immediately agreed. And then he revealed, he said that even if you look like a materialistic person, because you are a great devotee of the Lord, you are free from all bondage, birth, and death. And I had addressed you as a materialistic person just to test your sincerity. But now by your good qualities, your humility, I am giving you my mercy. So this was the test of the saintly person, and the king passed it. So he said that even if you are residing in great opulence, because of your devotion to the Lord, I can see that you're completely detached from it. So to honor the request of the king, he said that he would stay at this Champahata for some time, and the king could come and periodically visit him in secret, dressed, giving up his opulent dress and coming again as a mendicant. So the king was very happy to hear this, and he immediately instructed his minister to construct a cottage for Jayadeva Goswami and his wife. Just one moment. Okay. So Jayadeva Goswami wrote the Gita Govinda at Champahati. There he was describing how once Srimati Radharani was in a mood of intense anger at the Lord. And this is a type of loving sentiment. So by exhibiting this intense anger, Krishna could simply not pacify her no matter what he did. He tried to tease her, to joke with her, to be comical and humorous, tried all kinds of trickery, but somehow or other, Srimati Radharani simply would not be pacified. So then Jayadeva Goswami was just about to pen a verse describing how Krishna, in complete exasperation, put his head on the feet of Srimati Radharani. But as he thought that, without pinning it, just the thought came to his mind, he stopped, being fearful that he had created a great offense within his mind, to think that the Lord would submit himself like that. He was thinking that how he could think such thoughts. So he was extremely upset at himself. And he went to his wife, said that he was going to go to the Ganga to refresh himself and take bath, and he would come back later to take lunch. So immediately, as soon as he left, no sooner had he left than Jayadeva again appeared at the door and asked his wife Padmavati for his pen and scroll. And then he wrote a few lines, and then he came and he took his lunch, and then he left again. And then as soon as that happened, immediately after that, Jayadeva again returned. And his hair, this time his hair was wet, and he asked Padmavati for his lunch prasadam. And his wife was confused. He said, how is it that you've immediately gone and come back for a second time, and now you want your lunch again? So Jayadeva was very confused, and he went and checked his scroll. And there he saw that the verse that he was just about to begin was now completed in his own handwriting, and his unspoken words were there on the parchment. So when he saw this, he was stunned in ecstasy, and he fell on the ground and was rolling and crying. And then when he came to, he glorified his wife for her fortunate position. He told her that she had received and personally served Lord Shamasundar. So hearing this, Padmavati, she also collapsed and fell into an ocean of ecstasy. So this is a very famous pastime of Jayadeva Goswami. Then also in that holy place, one day, Jayadeva Goswami was worshipping Sri Krishna, and then the Lord in his deity form transformed into the color of a champak flower. And the Lord is described, this is all from the Navadvip Mahatmya, that he had a most exquisite, beautiful face, golden in color. It was so beautiful that it defeated millions of moons, and it was framed with gently curling hair. Around his neck was an exquisite flower garland, and the entire cottage, which was made of leaves, it was illuminated by the effulgence of the Lord's form. So seeing the form of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Jayadeva, he fainted, and tears were pouring from his eyes. And Padmavati Devi, she also fainted and fell to the ground senseless. So Lord Gauranga mercifully picked them both up with his own two lotus hands, and he told them in a very sweet voice that the both of you are my very sober devotees, and I had a great desire to get your darshan. So then he instructed him that very soon in this city of Nadia, I will take my birth as the son of Sachi Devi, and I will engage in the Sankirtan Jagya with all of my devotees and distribute love of God. And then at the age of 24, I will accept sannyas, and then travel to Nilachala, Sri Jagannath Puri Dham, and there in great ecstasy, I will relish the Sri Gita Govinda, which is Jayadeva Goswami's work. I will relish it along with all of my devotees. Then he said that Sri Gita Govinda is very, very dear to me. And this Navadvip Dham is certainly a transcendental place. You will both come back after leaving your bodies and eternally reside here. But now, both of you, you go to Nilachala Jagannath Puri Dham and serve Lord Jagannath. By serving Lord Jagannath, you will get pure love of Godhead. And then Lord Gauranga, he disappeared. So both Jayadeva and Padmavati, they fainted in a swoon because of the separation from the Lord. And when they came to their external senses, they pleaded, alas, alas, what a beautiful form we have seen. How can we survive without being deprived of this darshan? And then they're asking, why did Lord Gauranga order us to leave Navadvip? We must have committed some sort of offense. This land of Navadvip is a transcendental dham, and our minds do not see any way possible to leave this place. It would be better for us to live in Mayapur Dham as animals or birds rather than leave this place. We are eternally meditating upon this Dham. And then they were thinking that our great desire is to never leave the Dham, even if we leave our bodies. So they prayed, "Oh Lord Gauranga, be merciful to us and keep us here, giving us the service of your lotus feet." So then an ethereal voice instructed them both. The voice said, "You must both go to Nilachala Dham without feelings of any kinds of sadness. There you will achieve two important objectives." And then they said, "Please do not feel confused." So these two things will be achieved. A few days ago, you both planned to go Nilachala and live. So remember, that was the conversation that they had with the king. So they had a desire to go to Nilachala. And then there you will go and you'll fulfill all the desires of Lord Jagannath. And because Lord Jagannath wants to see you both. So those are the two. Both your desire to go there and Lord Jagannath's desire to see you will both be achieved. And then after pleasing him, the Lord, you will leave your bodies and again return to Navadvip to remain here eternally. So following these instructions, they started their journey to Nilachala, and repeatedly they looked back to have a darshan of Navadvip, and tears were pouring from their eyes. And then they addressed the inhabitants of Navadvip, and they said, "Oh, Navadvip Vasis, please excuse us for our offenses." And they could see the spiritual form of the eight-petaled Navadvip Dham. Let's see, let's go back to that slide. This one. They could see this form, the eight petals of Navadvip Dham, and looking back at Navadvip, they eventually couldn't see it any farther or any longer, and then they cried out of separation as they crossed Goramandala Bhumi. But then after a few days, they reached Nilachala Dham and related to see Lord Jagannath. Here also we see the pastime of when Jayadeva Gosvami was pinning that verse in the Gita Govinda. So again, Nityananda, describing to Jiva Goswami the appearance of Lord Gauranga, he said, "O Jiva, in this place, this is the place of Jayadeva. Elderly people say that this high land marks the place where Jayadeva was staying. When Lord Nityananda pointed out the place, Sri Jiva Goswami immediately started rolling on the ground while crying in ecstasy. Then Jiva Goswami explained, all glories to Jayadeva, all glories to Padmavati, all glories to Sri Gita Govinda, all glories to Jayadeva and Padmavati's attachment to Sri Krishna. O Lord, what an ocean of prema Kavi Jayadeva enjoyed in his life. Kindly give me just a drop of that ocean." So while glorifying Jayadeva Goswami like this, Jiva Goswami is rolling on the ground at the feet of Lord Nityananda. So at this time, if you don't mind, Hari Prabhu, why don't you go ahead and sing the Das Avatar Stotra, and I'll put that on the screen. Let's see, first of all, I'll unmute everybody. What happened to my unmute? Anyway, I'll work on that. If you would like to start singing, I have the words up here, and then I'll work on unmuting everybody.
Okay, can you hear me okay where I am now?
Yeah. You sound very good. I'll mute myself so there's not an echo, and I'll unmute
I noticed that
else.
what you had sent me, which is probably what you have up for the devotees. I'm in a different spot. I'm not at my computer. It doesn't have the diacritical marks. So anyway, what I sing sounds a little different. The S's aren't. They don't have the marks on them. So, but I have them here in the songbook, and so I'll give it a shot. I'm not real expert at chanting this. I'm not expert at much of anything, but I'll give it a shot. It's okay. And I'll have to stop in after a couple of verses and turn the page. Pralaya prayadi jale dritavan asivedam Vitavahitra charitra makedam Keshavadrita mena sharera Jai Jagadi Share Jai Jagadi Share Jai Jagadish Hare Chitter iha vipalatare Tishtati tava prishte Dharani dharan kina chakra garishte Keshavadrita korma sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Bahasi dashana shikare dharani tavalagna Shashani kalanka kaleva nimagna Keshavadrita shukara rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Tavakara Kamala Varena Kama Adbhuta Shringam Tarita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupam Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Chalaya se vikramane balam adbhutavaman Paranakanira janita janapavam Keshavadrita vamana rupam Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Chakshya Rudir Maye Jagat Apagata Papam Samayasi Pashish Amita Bhavatapam Keshavadrita Bhrigupati Rupam Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Pitarasi Dikshu Ramane Dek Pati Kamaniyam Tasamuka Molim Balim Ramaniyam Keshavadrita Ramana Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vahaseve Pushi Vishadeva Sanam Jalanagmam Alahita Pita Malita Halahita Pita Malita Jamunabam Keshavadrita Haladara Rupam Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Nindashi Jagya Vidher Aha Shruti Jatam Sayada Hridaya Darshita Pashugatam Keshavadrita Bhuta Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Mlecha Nivahanidane Kala Yasikara Vimuketum Eva Kim Api Koralam Keshavadrita Koki Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Shri Jayadeva Kavar Idam Uditam Uttaram Shunasukatam Shubhatam Bhavasharam Keshavadrita Dasa Vidarupam Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. So, read the translation.
I was thinking it would be nice, if the devotees don't mind, if maybe we can just take turns reading each of these translations.
Oh, great idea. Why don't you go
like
first,
to start there first?
Okay. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of a fish. All glories to you. You easily acted as a boat in the form of a gigantic fish to give protection to the Vedas, which had sunk in the turbulent sea of devastation.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of a tortoise. All glories to you. In this incarnation of a divine tortoise, the great Mandara mountain rests upon your gigantic back as a pivot for churning the ocean of milk. From holding up the huge mountain, a large scar-like depression is put on your back, which is most glorious.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a boar, all glorious to you. The earth which has become immersed in the Garbhodaka ocean at the bottom of the universe, is fixed upon the tip of your tusk, like a spot upon the moon.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of half man, half lion, in. All glories to you. Just as one can easily catch a wasp between one's fingernails, so in the same way the body of the wasp-like demon Hiranyakasipu has been ripped apart by the wonderful pointed nails on your beautiful lotus hands.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of a wonderful dwarf-like Brahmana. All glories to you. With your massive steps, you deceive King Bali, and with the Ganga water emanating from the nails of your lotus feet, you deliver all living beings in this world.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of Brikupati Parashuram, all glories to you. At Kurukshetra, you bathe the earth in the rivers of blood from the bodies of the demoniac Kshatriyas that you have slain. The sins of the world are washed away by you, and because of you, people are relieved from the blazing fire of material existence.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Ramachandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroy the 10-headed demon Ravana and distribute his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions, headed by Indra. This action was long desired by all of them, who were much harassed by this monster.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of plow-wielding Balaram. All glories to you. On your brilliant white body, you wear garments colored like a fresh rain cloud in the river Jamuna, whom you frighten with the blows of your plow.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Buddha, all glories to you. O Buddha of compassionate heart, you decry the slaughtering of poor animals performed according to the rules of Vedic sacrifice.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of Kalki. All glories to you. Like a comet bearing an indescribable, terrifying sword, you annihilate the wicked barbarian kings at the end of Kali Yuga.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed these 10 different forms of incarnation, all glories to you. O readers, please hear this hymn of the poet Jayadeva, which is most excellent, an awarder of happiness, a bestower of auspiciousness, and is the best thing in this dark world.
O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you, who appear in the forms of these 10 incarnations. In the form of Matsya, you rescue the Vedas, and as Kurma, you bear the Mandara mountain on your back. As Varaha, you lift the earth with your tusk, and in the form of Nrsimha, you tear open the chest of the Daitya Hiranyakashipu. In the form of Vamana, you trick the Daitya King Bali, who asked him for only 3 steps of land, and when you take away the whole universe from him by expanding your steps. As Parashuram, you slay all the wicked Kshatriyas, and as Ramachandra, you conquer the Rakshasa King Ravana. In the form of Balaram, you carry a plow, with which you subdue the wicked and draw toward you the river Yamuna. As Lord Buddha, you show compassion towards all the living beings suffering in this world, and at the end of the Kali Yuga, you will appear as Kalki to bewilder the mlechas, degraded low-class men. Sri Jayadeva Goswami Ki Jai.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Prabhus. Hopefully by next week we'll get back on track with the Chaitanya Bhagavat, and hopefully by then Chitananda will fix his computer. But anyway, that was my little presentation about Jayadeva Goswami. Would anyone like to add anything?
I have a picture of Jayadeva Goswami's Radhamadhava. I sent it to you by email, but I have a cleaned up one. How do I send that to you, or how do I share that?
You see the invite? It says waiting for your response.
Okay, hang on a second. It's going to take me a few minutes just to get it on the screen. Somebody else can speak. It's going to take I'm just wrapping it up here.
We have Mataji Champakalata there in Hawaii. I didn't know that was one of the main gopis who her eternal service is to make champak flower garlands for the Lord. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the golden champak flower. It's a beautiful flower. You saw a picture of it online.
Different varieties.
Right.
It didn't look like a plumeria.
It's a golden champak. I think they called it a golden champak, but it's a beautiful flower. It's very different than the plumeria, and the scent is heavenly.
Ramananda Prabhu, somehow or other, or I don't know if you mentioned it, what are the dates of Jayadeva Goswami's, what was his years? When was he born?
Oh, it doesn't say here. Well, obviously it's got to be before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he gave his darshan, he said, very soon I'll appear in Navadvip. So it must have been just prior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, I suppose. I don't see dates here. But I guess that's some sort of a time reference. I don't know. Maybe 100 more years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? I'm just guessing. I don't know. So, you have it?
Yeah, just a second. Almost there, because
okay.
I have 2 computers going, and I have to transfer this to my computer here.
Let me know, and I'll send you an invite.
Okay.
Does anyone else know anything else about Jayadeva Goswami?
Well, the only date is given that born 1200 AD.
Oh, 1,000 years ago. Interesting.
I know that Geet Govinda and Jayadeva wrote very high poetry. Some of the verses are in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur discouraged his disciples from reading very high books, or at least discussing them publicly. He discouraged that. But we have verses from Ujjwala Nilamani, Geet Govinda in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But even those sections of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur preferred that his disciples not discuss those, except for maybe in a small circle. It was just his mood. A little high.
Wasn't that a beautiful painting somebody did of the lotus of Navadvip Dham? Kind of conceptualizes it for us, what the devotees actually see. The lotus of Mayapur Dham.
Yeah, that's the 9 islands. Correct?
Yep. Sri Navadvip Dham.
Right. Is that the book that Navadvip published? Our old God brother?
I don't know. But that description was from the Navadvip Mahatmya.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I'm ready for your invite.
Okay. Here you go.
So can you see my screen?
I can see Radha Govinda.
They look very much like Govindaji. This is Radha Madhava. They're on the way. They're near the Amber Fort. There was a temple when Govindaji was first taken. They must have been taken from Vrindavan, like so many deities that you see in Jaipur, because the Jaipur kings were strong, and they knew diplomacy. They knew how to get around these Muslims. And so when Aurangzeb threatened to come and destroy the deities of Vrindavan, all but Radharaman were taken other places, mostly Jaipur. There's Nathadwar has Giri Govardhan from the Govardhan Hill, has Nathaji. So I expect this happened at the same time. They probably were in Vrindavan, but they were taken to Jaipur. So there's a temple near the Amber Fort, and that was a temple where Govindaji was kept and worshipped before the king finally moved him to the palace, to the inner part of the palace. So Govindaji looks very much like this, and but this is Jayadev's Madhava, and I think it might have been Jahnavi Devi later that added the Radharanis, both to Govindaji and perhaps, I don't have a documentation for that, but I read some time back that she added some Radharanis to some of the Goswami's deities, at least Govindaji. But you can go to Jaipur today, and on the way to Amber Fort, this temple is there, and you can get darshan. You can get very close to Radha Madhava, and they're just gorgeous. I mean, actually, I may be in trouble for saying this, but Madhava's even more beautiful than Govindaji. At least when I first saw him, I was so struck. I had to take a picture, but I only managed to really get this picture the last time I went, and there was a sign there, no photography, but the Pujari somehow said, just we're not supposed to, but I'm going to give you a darshan, and you can go for it, So I did, and so I got this picture.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me make them bigger so that you can get a look at their lotus faces here.
Dr. Manavaji, do you know why they don't like you to take pictures?
In some temples, I think it's got to do with that the temple wants, it's like people are going to publish. Even ISKCON, they have a restriction on taking pictures of Radha Madhava. And so the temples, as part of their income, is, that they can have images of the deities and for the pilgrims that come there, and millions of pilgrims come to Mayapur. And so it's to maintain the deity, that they do this.
I see.
And so if everybody...
Sell images?
Yeah, and so if anybody comes and then they they, put it in the marketplace, then, it takes away from the income for maintaining deity. It becomes a private enterprise.
It's an economic issue. It's not like something spiritual.
It can be. Yeah, I'm not saying that's every case, but it can be. Anyway, he was painted differently the first time I saw him. The first time I saw him, I almost fell down. I was just blown away how beautiful he was.
And these deities are in Vrindavan or Jaipur?
Jaipur.
Thank you, Vidagda Prabhu.
Sure.
All right, well, Prabhu, thank you very much for listening and honoring Jayadeva Goswami on this holy day. And
it's a great class, Tom. You
it was
a lot
a good
of nectar together for us.
It was a good fix. It was it was very nice to observe Jayadeva's day. Very nice.
Okay, so we'll see everybody back here soon. Thank you, Prabhus. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Glories to Prabhupada.
Bye.